All right. Hello and welcome to another episode of Actualize After Hours. Today, I spent a little bit of time preparing a little something for these guys. Jay sent me an email last week with a couple of ideas, suggestions, and he sent me a podcast of this one game. And I actually went online to try to find the game, to find like official rules, and it was actually quite complicated to figure out a real like attachment to this game because I honestly think that the woman who was hosting the podcast made up a lot of stuff. So I kind of built a version of the game using her rules. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It's not too complicated. I made up some of the categories. I used some of hers. And basically what we're going to do, it's a little bit like the werewolf game. This one's a spy game. So the idea is that you guys are all going to be a bunch of civilians, except there's going to be one spy among you. Civilians don't know who the spy is. The whole point and objective of the game is for civilians to figure out who the spy is. The spy's objective is not to get caught, to slip away. And civilians and spies earn points depending on if they get away and if they successfully identify a spy. So that's the basic premise of the game. We're going to start with one person being a spy, and I might upgrade later to actually having two of you be spies, depending on how it goes, how we do the first round or two. We're going to start with one person as a spy, and I've actually written a script to randomly generate who will be the spy, so it's not of my choosing, which I will demonstrate. So basically, the idea is we're going to have some categories that I've made up on my own and also with the help of the podcaster. And the categories are each going to have 10 options. So as an example, a category could be something like Batman villains, and the options might be things like, Joker, Bane, Penguin, etc. And basically, I'm going to read all the categories out loud. I'm also going to post them in the random channel, so you'll be able to see all of the 10 options within a category. Every round, the category is going to change, and all the options will change to make it fun. You will all receive the final option that is the final answer. So you're all going to get one option that is the correct answer, except for the spy. The spy doesn't get the correct answer. The spy gets a message that says, "You're the spy." Everyone else gets the right answer. So the idea is that the spy doesn't know the right answer, everybody else does. Spies are basically, their job is to try to figure out what the right answer is and also try not to get caught in the process. So what's going to happen is everyone is going to have 2 minutes after I reveal the category and after I reveal all the options, everyone gets the correct option or knows that they're the spy. You have 2 minutes to come up with a clue word. The clue word needs to relate to the answer somehow. It can be a proper noun. It can be a hyphen, no squishing fake words, has to be a real hyphen. It can be an adjective. It can really be whatever word you want. It just needs to be one word. And you can't use the same word that someone else has already used. So we're going to kind of go in a circle, and I'll give you guys I'll name the order. And you guys are each going to give me one word to describe the correct option. Now, you want to ride a really thin line when you're describing the correct option. For example, let's go back to the Batman villains example. If I said the category is Batman villains, and here are your options. You have Joker, you have Penguin, you have Bane, you have Poison Ivy, and you gave me the answer if your clue was clown. Okay. Now everybody knows you, and the right answer was Joker, right? Now everyone knows you're not the spy, but the spy knows the right answer. The spy now has information about what the right answer is. The spy's like, oh, obviously the answer is Joker. So you want to ride the line of not giving a clue that pertains to every single thing in the category, right? Like if you said evil for Batman villain, that's too general. That could apply to every single one on the list, right? And then you risk getting yourself pointed out as the spy because it's like, oh, they didn't come up with anything unique. Therefore, I think they're the spy. And if you get called out, if you get voted the spy and you're just a regular civilian, you actually lose a point. So you do not want to be named the spy if you were just a regular civilian. You don't want to die. There's actually no dying in this game, unlike the werewolf game where there is dying. So you really want to ride the line of not giving a clue that's too obvious, like clown, but also not giving a clue that's too vague, like evil. You have to pick something somewhere in the middle to try to make it specific enough, but not give it away to the spy. So does that kind of make sense as a general concept of what you're aiming to do? It'll be like kind of clustery the first round, but then I think it's going to get a little bit better. So that's the main idea. You're also going to have 2 minutes to come up with your words, so you're going to have a little time to think about it. The spy, of course, doesn't know the right answer, so the spy is also trying to pick something that's general, but not too general. And also, if the spy is lucky enough to go a little bit later in the order and hear the other people's words, they could try to latch on to that to sort of pick up on, oh, I think I know what it is, and maybe change their word up a little bit, right? So that's the idea.
And is there a discussion segment?
There is a discussion. So after that happens, you all give me your words, then you discuss for 5 minutes. So you have open conversation for 5 minutes. You can basically say whatever you want. You can call people out. You can say, I don't think that this is good enough. Give me your defense. And really what you want to do is you want to be able to defend your answer without giving away what the final option actually is. So be ready to defend your answer, which is especially hard for the spy to do when they don't know what the right one is. But really what you want to do is defend your answer, but not give it away, right? Obviously you can't be like, well, you know, the Joker's a clown. So I say like, that gives away that the Joker's the right answer, which is not good. So that's kind of the idea of the game. So you guys will have 5 minutes of discussion, and then there's going to be open voting for the spy. So in the order that you guys gave your words, you will also go in the same order and you will vote. So you will vote out loud for who you think is the spy. So that's the basis of the game. That's actually pretty much everything. The last thing is points, which really is, I'm going to worry about that. But the breakdown is, for points, if a spy successfully slips away, AKA they are not detected, the spy gets 3 points. If a spy gets caught, they still have an option to gain points. If a spy gets caught out, they can still earn 2 points if they correctly guess the right answer. Civilians who correctly spot the spy and name the spy, even if the spy doesn't get indicted, those civilians earn 2 points. And civilians actually lose a point if they get indicted incorrectly. So if you get pointed out as the spy and you weren't, you actually lose a point. There's also the idea, which I liked, that the podcaster implemented, which was a whimsy point. Because I'm not participating because I know all the right answers, I'm going to award a whimsy point for an answer that I think is cute or hilarious or great. Or for a sleuth who I think did a really, really excellent job of sussing things out. So I get to award 1 whimsy point at the end of the round. And that's the game. So we have 4 rounds. I've come up with 4 different categories with 4 different sets of options. So I have 4 rounds prepared. And basically the points are going to stack. So at the end, we'll sort of announce the running totals. And that's kind of the idea. So are there any questions? I know this sounds like a lot, but it's actually like not too bad. And I will like tell you guys what to do as we get there.
Can you explain how a spy gets outed? Everybody votes. Does everybody's vote count and it's a majority, yes, or is it like individual votes? Or
yes, good question. It's very much like the werewolf game. So a spy gets outed by majority vote. So if the majority voted for them, they will get outed. That means that if everyone votes for someone different, but 2 people vote for, you know, like Peter would be the spy. So it doesn't have to be like the majority of people here, but it just has to be the most votes. So most votes gets put as the spy. There can also be a tie for spy. And under the condition that there is a tie for most votes for spy, both people are labeled as the spy. Mm-hmm.
You were talking about multiple rounds. Would that be like Batman example? We go through like several rounds and vote several people out, or would it be like 1 round of Batman, 1 round of different types of trees and so on?
Different types of trees. That's a good category. I'm going to write that down for next time.
Different types of breads.
Potato bread. Yes. So the Batman example would just be 1 round. We have 1 round for that category. Then we move on to another category for our next round.
So we have 1 chance to get the spy. So the chances of us getting the spy are not very good overall.
It's not great. Right. The spy definitely has a little bit of an advantage, but they have a harder time playing. Yeah. As soon as there are 2 spies, it gets a little bit harder for the spies. But then there's also the fun mechanic where there's two spies who aren't on the same team and they try to throw each other under the bus because they get an extra point when they're the spy and they don't get caught. The other guy is a spy and gets caught.
Quick question. Is there anything stopping me from using the same answer that somebody else gave?
That was
Let's
my
say like,
plan. I didn't say anything.
You guys can watch the recording. I did specifically specify that you cannot use the same word
Okay.
as someone else who's already gone
so then
before you.
so then
a
I'm kind
backup.
of screwed, right? Like if I
a
thought of
backup.
a clue, yeah, you have to have a backup.
You
clue.
should have a backup. Yep. You have 2 minutes to think of a clue. Think of a backup, especially if you know that your clue is kind of a little bit general, right? If I gave you the Batman villains example and you gave me the clue, like smiles or something, like, get a backup if you know that your word is not utterly specific. Again, it is one word, so be careful with that. If you're unsure, I do have Slack open over here. If you're unsure about a rule or something, you can always Slack DM me during the round and ask a quick question. Otherwise, we will remain silent during that time. Or actually, we don't have to be silent, but Okay. Are you guys ready to try this out? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen for just a moment just to show you guys, because it's fun, that I have written. So here's all my rules and points. I'm going to score you guys. So I have this area to sort of do some running totals. Dani's not here today, so we're going to take her out of the array. And here's you guys. And here is the code that just removes one of you from the array. And if we do want to add in a second spy later, just going to uncomment this. But basically, this is not going to actually be the spy this round, but you can see it just randomly returns one of you as the spy, and that's that.
See, this is why you need to learn to code, everyone.
And this is why you need to learn to
generator.
code, so that you can make scripts for weird games that you come up with your friends. Welcome to Actualize. Yeah.
And this is more than what we do for our students, where you're actually showing us that it's an actually random sample, because I thought it was just going to say Brian every single time. So I appreciate seeing the source code over here.
You'd think that it would just be Brian every single time. It is not going to be Brian every single time, only sometimes. Only the majority of times when I alter the script.
You'll notice she's not sharing her screen now.
Right.
when the real version
Did
is
you
coming.
want me to share my screen when I run the script, Brian?
I'm just saying I'll like to call foul. Actually, I want to be the spy, so
Okay.
that would be good.
So here's the idea, is that I'm going to run the script and one of you guys is going to be the spy. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the first category and I'm going to Slack it out into the random channel. I'm also going to read it all out loud for viewers. So here is the first category. The first category in the random channel is fictional jobs. The options are as follows. There's 10 options. Vampire Slayer, Ghostbuster, Dinosaur Trainer, Magic Professor, Shield Agent, Tooth Fairy, Starship Captain, Demon Hunter, Jedi Knight, and Time Traveling Companion. So these are the fictional jobs, fictional categories. So I'm now going to send out a Slack message to every one of you, and including the spy. Everyone is going to get a message of either the fact that they're the spy or they're going to get the actual correct answer. Be sure not to reveal the correct answer. Your job is to keep that hidden from the spy. Cool. All right, so I'm going to Slack each and every one of you. And it will take me just a moment. Hopefully you guys all have Slack open, yes? All right, and did everybody receive a Slack message from me and know the thing that they should know? Cool. All right, so you guys now have 2 minutes on the clock. I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes, and your guys' job is to come up with a word, a single word. It can be a proper noun. It can be an adjective, it can be whatever word you want it to be. It can't be obviously the name of the thing, that wouldn't make sense. And basically, it is your job to come with a word that walks the line between specific and vague. So please take 2 minutes, come up with your word. And come up with a backup too. Never a bad idea to have a slight backup word. Also, no Googling. Not
No
allowed.
Googling?
No Googling.
Why?
We don't allow Googling here. Why not?
No, you're not allowed to Google. That is not part of this game.
It's not cheating.
It's totally cheating.
Like,
How is it cheating?
like shield agent. I don't really know what that is, but I can't.
That's okay. You won't know what everything is.
Okay.
Use your best interpretation.
That a spy would say.
Right. Only spies would want to Google.
Don't know what it is.
I don't know what that is.
That didn't take very long.
Once they
The
pick
whole
me,
point is that is a valid excuse. That puts random variables into the game.
I can make mine hyper specific if people would like, but
Nope. No Googling. If you don't know something, you have to just keep going with it. I chose a lot of these intentionally, and most of them are like, you could devise something. It's one word. I believe in you. Okay, so I've about 30 more seconds. Okay, that is the end of your time. So now I have predetermined an order already of how I'm going to ask you guys for your answers. And this is the same order that we're going to vote in. So the first person who's going to give me their answer is Jay. So Jay, what is your word?
My word is actualize.
His word is actualize. Okay. All right, we have actualize. And Peter, you're next.
Ancient.
Okay. Alex, your word.
Gonna have to go with robe.
All right. Amanda, your word.
Fandom.
What's that? I didn't hear it.
Fandom.
Fandom. And Brian, your word.
wart. W-A-R-T.
And Lisa, your word.
Ethereal.
Oh, I hope I spelled that right. Okay.
So-
So yeah, question?
I was ready to go, but go ahead, Dani.
Okay, so now that I've gathered all of your words, I'm going to slack those out into the random channel so you guys can see the compilation of words, and you guys are gonna have an open discussion for 5 minutes. And then I will ask you for votes in the same order that I asked you for your words. 5 minutes, go.
So Jay, it's clear you know what the word is, and I know what the word is. So it's a matter of who one of the other four are not being truthful. And I'm pretty sure Alex knows what the real word is. So it's really Peter, Amanda, or Lisa. What do you think about that, Jay?
Yeah. Amanda, can you explain fandom?
Yeah, totally. So this fictional job belongs to something that has a very large fan base. I was trying not to be too specific.
Nice one, Amanda. Can I just point out the fact that we're also dealing with a lot speaking of Amanda's word fandom, we're dealing with a lot of pop culture, and Jay went with a really interesting word choice that either he knows exactly what it is or he doesn't know what half of these things are.
I thought of doing, I was considering doing Actualize as well.
Boom. Yeah.
That to me was such a weird opening. You know what I mean? Like I didn't make the connection. So the fact that you're so certain about it, Brian, was really odd to me. I was like, that's a very strange answer to that question.
Yeah.
That's a very
I
strange
thought
answer to that
it was an excellent one.
Resembles-
So it seems like it's either
resembles-
Peter or Lisa. Both of theirs were. their answers were
Amanda's
a
is so
little
general.
ethereal.
Like
I'm not convinced that Amanda. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I like
Yeah.
that applies to damn near everything on that list. Sorry.
I thought that was the point. We were supposed to be more general.
Right. I mean, it's a tricky
Right,
it's a
like,
tricky
you're not-
line.
you're not
It's
supposed to
definitely
Get too specific.
Yeah, I mean, I picked ancient for that reason because
Right.
I was like anything else that I can think of,
Was
which
too close.
Brian, Brian, your answer, I'm like, I have to pick like some weird combination of things, or you know what I mean, a chunk of a thing,
Right.
or but that I went with ancient just because I felt like it was ambiguous. Like there's certain things in that list that can be ancient. That was my reasoning.
Yeah.
Alex looks very skeptical of you, Peter, and I agree.
You definitely don't want to lose points by voting for me because I definitely know the answer. Am I allowed to like give other clues at this point, or
I think
You're allowed to
so.
say whatever you want, but obviously, if you give away what the thing is, right, you're giving clues to the spy. So.
If we
I honestly right now I have no idea who the spy is. I am not the spy. I don't know if you want proof that I know what the correct answer is. I'll say this, Brian.
Yeah.
I'll say this to you, Brian, in case you're like, I know what your clue means.
Right. I was gonna say, so if you're so certain, we should have either Amanda or Lisa say the other part to my clue, and then we will know that they know the real answer, and the person who doesn't is the spy.
But to be fair, your clue is also like a little.
Sure.
Yeah,
I just don't have any better ideas.
I'll give you the other clue that I had in mind, if that helps.
Sure.
Charming.
Oh, that's good.
I think it's Amanda.
Like a shield agent.
Yeah, I think it's Amanda.
So they did it charming.
Amanda, why do you think I picked wart?
You want me to tell the spy what the clue is?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that what you're
What's the other word that would go along with wart?
Hog.
Ooh.
She may have figured it out from all of the other clues, but I suppose we'll allow it. So it's probably Peter then?
And so now our spy definitely knows.
Yeah, now the spy
Right,
definitely
right.
knows, but
Good
it's
job, Brian.
definitely not me. I'm just letting you guys know that.
How else do we know that it is not you
Persuasive.
aside from your assertion, Peter?
Because I was the one who first said, I know what Brian's clue means, without trying to actually give it away. Like, if I was the spy, how would you know what on earth that would mean? I singled out Brian's clue because that one literally
30 seconds
was a
remaining.
two-part clue.
Well, now
I'm
that we all
convinced by
know what
that.
it is, it's hard to press anyone.
My
Wait a
gut
minute,
feeling
wait.
was Jay, but I don't know.
Yeah, definitely
hold
not
on.
Jay.
I'm just going to throw a wrench in here. Alex's clue is right on the fine line of yes, it could be absolutely what it is, or it could apply to
Right.
be the thing that clearly applies to multiple things on that list.
Right.
Yeah,
And then they
so
could have
the
gotten
time-
lucky that
And
it
your
was
time with
it happened to
that
be one of those.
is
A dinosaur trainer can wear a robe, right?
So your time is up now. Now
Right,
I will
it's probably
inform,
Lisa. We should vote for Lisa.
I will inform you guys.
What?
I
Wait,
will inform you that
That's my best guess.
because it's clear that this was a little bit of a hodgepodge, which is fine. But the spy does get 2 points for guessing the correct option, even if they get
Oh, I forgot
kicked
about that.
out. And the civilians can only score 2 points by correctly guessing the spy. So what you guys did by going real overboard and really sleuthing, you definitely gave away what the clue was. The spy probably definitely knows, and the spy is actually going to score maximum points this round, no matter what. So keep that in mind for future rounds. I think you guys gave a little too much away this time. Okay, I will now go around in order, and I will ask in the same order that I asked for clues who you are voting for. So we're gonna start with Jay. Jay, who do you vote for as the spy?
I'm going Amanda.
He's voting Amanda. Peter, who do you vote for as the spy?
Oh man. Oh.
You gotta go with your gut.
Yeah, no, I'll go with Alex.
Okay, Alex, who are you voting for as the spy?
Jay.
Wow, okay.
So
all over the
place.
Amanda, who are you voting for as the spy?
Brian. Brian's the werewolf. He's always known.
Brian, who are you voting for as the spy?
My plan was just to pile on whoever had the most votes, but now everyone has one vote. Geez. So there's no way Lisa's gonna vote for herself, so I'll vote for Alex.
Okay, and Lisa, who are you going to vote for?
I was expecting Brian to vote for me, and then I was just going to vote for Peter and just completely mess it up.
So, Lisa, who do you vote for?
Amanda.
Okay, with that, Alex has 2 votes and Amanda has 2 votes, and they have both been indicted as spies. So, Alex, were you a spy?
I was not.
Amanda, were you a spy?
I was.
So
I was. And the word
did you
wart
call them-
definitely gave away the clue.
and the next question is the spy. Do
Oh,
know
you
the
thought
cor-
just Wart gave away the clue.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely it
Do
did.
you know the correct answer, spy?
Yeah. It's a magic professor.
Okay, so here's now how we're going to break down the points. So because the spy didn't get away, they don't get points for that. But because Amanda guessed the correct option, which it was magic professor, she gets 2 points. So Amanda is now at 2 points. Civilians who guessed the spy correctly also get 2 points. So Jay guessed Amanda and gets 2 points. Lisa also guessed Amanda and gets 2 points. Yeah. Okay. Civilians lose 1 point for getting indicted incorrectly. So Alex goes to, unfortunately, a -1.
I'm sorry.
-1 point for getting indicted incorrectly. Maybe a little bit too on the nose. And lastly is our whimsy point that I get to award. I think that Jay's answer was very clever and adorable, and I am awarding my whimsy point to Jay.
Thanks.
Yes.
Pretty good.
I mean, after Brian pointed out, I'm like, okay, that's very much a Jay answer. Jay doesn't know
It's
any
super
magic
Jay
professors.
answer.
He just knows
Yeah.
professors.
We're magic professors, right?
He's just
And
completely
I
ignored.
agree with his assessment.
Like, oh, I'll just listen to everyone's clues. And Jay goes, Actualize. And I'm like, nope, no idea.
Okay,
No,
do we
I
have
was
a little
not.
bit of a
I was
better
like, wait,
idea?
what? I don't get that.
Well, first I was like, Dumbledore, no. No.
Shoot.
I go,
Dumbledore, the Jedi Master, right. So do we have a little bit of a better idea of how to play now that we've done it one time? Feel a little better about it? Cool. All right.
Brian, what were you thinking that Wart also applied to in addition to magic professor?
I just thought it would be like
Yeah.
a weird word that no one would associate with anything, but I was apparently very incorrect about that.
Yes,
I
I was
like
like,
a witch. That's
witch.
what-
Yeah, that's what I
Right.
thought.
Professor
Maybe like
McGonagall.
magical, but I thought it was a little far-fetched.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought the same. It's so hard to think of something. I was like, if I said hog, would people get it right away? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like a random word. But if they're looking at magic professor, like, I don't know. It just depends. It's hard to say because I said ancient, and like now people suspect me. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to pick something vague that everybody's not going to suspect. Like that's a very difficult balance.
So you can see it is a little tricky for the spy. Like the spy doesn't always just get away with it. Spy was indicted in this case. So we're learning how to ride the line. I think you guys did a really good job that round. You learned to be specific or vague. Also in the question and answer or the question asking round, it's difficult to try to put pressure on someone and really you want to hear their defense more than anything. But yeah, that was really good. You guys did a great job. Our next round is going to be a set of new categories and a new spy. So everyone has a fresh slate. I will be sending out the next round of correct option or correct answer, as well as letting the next spy know who they are. We're still gonna play with one spy, I think. Maybe we'll up it to 2 next time. We're gonna start with 1 here. So our next category is Broadway musicals, which you may or may not have knowledge of.
And you said we are allowed to Google, right?
You are not allowed to Google. No Googling.
This is gonna be great.
Oh my
So
goodness.
Broadway musicals in the random channel. We have Les Mis, Les Miserables. We have The Sound of Music. We have The Phantom of the Opera. We have The Lion King. We have Hamilton, Oklahoma, West Side Story, Wicked, Chicago, and of course, Cats. So these are our 10 options. Be it how much or how little you know about these Broadway musicals, you probably have heard of all of them.
That's a new monkey wrench that someone may not know it, like me, for example.
And that's going to be common.
Jay is just going to say music, regardless of whether he's a spy or if he's not. He's just going to say music.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and slack out all of the correct options, as well as slack out who is the spy. And I think that everybody should have received a Slack message from me. Can I get confirmation that that is true?
I
Yes.
did.
Everyone received a message from me. Excellent. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to spend 2 minutes coming up with your word. So spend 2 minutes thinking of your word, maybe come up with a backup word, and 2 minutes on the clock. We're not going to make it through all my categories.
Proper nouns can only be 1 word. We can't do a 3-word name. Okay.
Might give it away, no?
Nope. Maybe.
Do your best to find that lovely word that rides the line between giving everything away and giving nothing away at all. You have about 30 seconds remaining. Look at the other options too, right? Go down the list. What does your word apply to and what does it not? If it applies to some and not all, that's probably good. All right, and your time is now up. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're going to do the same thing where we go around in a circle and you guys are going to reveal your answers to me. So the order that I have predetermined that we are going to be doing, we're gonna start with Alex. What is your word?
My word is foreign.
Foreign or form?
Foreign.
Foreign, okay. Okay, so Alex says foreign. And next we're going to have Brian.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. Okay, next we are going to have Lisa.
Unrequited.
Unrequited. Let's hope I spell that one right too. You keep giving me hard words, Lisa.
Sorry.
Next we have Peter.
Remake.
Next we have Jay.
Gonna go classic.
Classic. And last we have Amanda.
Question.
Question. Do you have a question, or is that your word?
That's the word. That's the word.
Okay, and this time I'm actually listing out in the random channel the words along with who gave the words to make it a little easier for you guys. Okay, so there are words. You now have 5 minutes of open discussion.
Alex, why did you say foreign?
What? Why did I say foreign?
Yeah.
Alex, I think your clue is really good. I don't think you have to answer that.
No, I don't think I do either.
Ryan, you're
So
not helping.
it's possible for the spy to go first, right? And that would suck for them, right? It's just
Right.
it's just
Oh,
completely
it's-
random, right?
So much.
I don't know. I get stuck on remake and classic. I feel like
I think classic
all of
was a good one.
You also didn't answer the
Classic.
question.
You don't
Me?
have to.
I'd step.
Yeah, Alex, why foreign?
it's not Chicago.
You're gonna give it. I'm gonna say, you know, if she gives it away, like you got to be careful, like when you're asking.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because I think it's a good clue, and so if she
Yeah.
says anything to defend it, then it sort of immediately gives away what it is.
Well, I need to ask the obvious question, which is, what does unrequited mean?
No googling. No.
Are you
Googling.
asking
Right.
her
Yeah.
to defend her answer? Are you asking her what
well,
that word means?
The defense may follow, but let's start with the definition.
The one word answer is one-sided.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, unrequited in this case can fit quite a few, but that's the point, right? Like
Mhm.
it needs to be a little bit vague.
See, I don't know enough about any of these to press.
I agree.
Mhm.
You agree that I don't know enough?
Yes, and I also don't know enough. Amanda, what was your oh, I can just look over here. Question.
Yeah, I like Amanda's.
Is Amanda's good?
I have a bachelor's degree in theater. Yes, it's a good clue.
It's a good clue. Okay,
Yeah.
good. As
Yes.
long as
For
that's all
someone-
taken care
For
of.
those who have seen this musical, tell us right now which one is not good. Which clue is not good?
Good.
I think I've seen some version of everything on this list. Remake isn't good because that's almost everything on this list.
It's very,
I'm
very, very.
saying, yeah.
Yeah,
Like there's
Yeah.
it's
maybe yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know how to give a clue without giving it away because I don't know some of these things. So I
Fair.
agree. It's really vague. I really shot on the vague side.
Yep.
And I'm like trying not to be the hogwart kind of thing. Because like anything else I thought of was like, I'm like,
Mhm.
because this
Offense
is tough when you
taken.
don't know the other ones. You know what I mean? Like then you don't know what you're saying. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
So I admit it's not a great clue.
Yeah.
I don't know who all of these
Is it-
clues are kind of like broad. Like the other
Yeah.
time it was easier because we had really specific clues. And so I think we all kind of shot in this direction. So now it's hard to say.
Mhm. Unlucky is interesting because that, like, if you know anything about any of these, like, that pretty much qualifies for all of them
Yeah,
in
that's
some
basically
fashion.
Plot setup. It's
Yeah,
like
like
I'm
that's
gonna write a Broadway musical.
Shit,
What is
yeah.
the unlucky stroke of
yes, like
events?
yes. Whether
So-
it's character, plot point, whatever. Yes, unlucky is
So,
pretty much all of them.
Yeah. I agree. I came up with the clue after thinking about the particular one and then looked at the other ones and I was like, oh, this is great because it matches with so many of the other ones, but then it matched with so many. It's like, oh, wait, it's not good again.
Yeah.
I'm happy to answer any questions about this title as long as they mostly involve content from the title and not from the actual musical.
Hey, how much time do we have, Dani?
You have about 50 seconds remaining.
Oh,
So
I'm pretty
Oh.
Peter's defense is definitely the weakest. I think everyone's has been very solid.
Yeah.
Mine's not that good, but
yeah.
everyone's has been very solid except Peter, I
Yeah.
think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All I'll say is the same thing I said last time. I overshot in vagueness last time with ancient, and I couldn't think of a better clue this time. I don't know why I have such a difficult time. This is a tough game.
Maybe because you're the spy.
It could be, but I was not the spy the last time. Brian's unlucky, unrequited. I mean, you could see a lot of them fitting all of these. Not all of them. Foreign, I think, is a good clue.
Foreign definitely narrows it down much more.
Yeah, foreign. Yeah. My clue is going to be not America, but it was 2 words and I couldn't think of another way to say it.
Okay, and with that, your time is up. So I'm now going to ask you all to vote for who you think is the spy. Starting with Amanda. Starting with Alex.
I will go with Peter.
Okay. She thinks Peter's the spy. Brian.
Peter.
Lisa.
Yeah. Peter.
Okay. Peter, who do you think is the spy?
Oh man, it's not me. So I guess I'll go with Brian.
Brian. Always.
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced.
Jay.
Default answer in all of our games.
I'm gonna actually go with Brian.
Okay. And Amanda, you
now.
could be the vote that does it all.
Dang, are they like split evenly right now? Peter and Brian?
Peter currently has 3 votes. Brian has 2 votes. So you can throw Brian on.
Yeah, let's do Brian and we'll just get him both.
So
You
What-
get minus
what-
points if you get it wrong, though.
He threw. That's not
yeah.
true. You get minus
No,
points. if
you
throw
get
it
minus
out.
points.
Yeah.
She would get more
Excited.
points if she guesses.
we're already
You get
screwed,
0
basically.
points for getting the right
Yeah.
answer. You do get
Yeah,
points for
yeah.
getting the correct answer. So
Right. We're already screwed. Like once one person votes for you, right? Like then you get a -1. Is that the idea?
if you're a civilian, yes.
Oh yeah.
No. If you
No,
get
you-
indicted as a civilian.
Right. Okay, I see.
So
It's
Brian
probably
was not
one of
necessarily
the-
going to be indicted. Amanda indicted. Okay, so Peter, were you the spy?
I was.
Brian
Yeah.
was not.
I was.
Ooh, so Peter
It
was
was-
the spy.
it-
So before we move forward, Peter, can you correctly guess the right answer?
No, you guys did a really good job of covering this up, and I don't know my musicals. I'll
You're
go with
allowed
Les
to take a
Mis.
stab anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Les Mis, but I don't.
Okay, that is not the correct answer. The
Yeah.
correct answer is The Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Um,
It was between those two, and you guys were like, when Alex is like,
Mhm.
defend yourself, and Brian's like, no, and I'm like, like I need to narrow it down just a little bit more.
all right, so we're gonna do some point distribution. Jay, no points awarded. Peter gets no points awarded, but doesn't lose any points
Because I was a spy, yeah.
because you were a spy. Brian gets 1 point for correcting the right answer and loses 1 for being indicted. So Brian, total of 1 point for you. Amanda guessed incorrectly, no points awarded. We have Alex, who guessed correctly and gets 2 points, up from the negative.
Woo!
And Lisa also guessed correctly, which gives her 2 points. Okay, so we have Lisa at the leaderboard with 4 points. We have Amanda trailing with 2. Brian, Alex, and Jay have 1 point apiece, and Peter has 0 points. And my whimsy point this round is going to be bestowed upon Alex because Forum was a really good answer.
Thank you.
Yes, we don't agree on that. I am shocked that none of you questioned Jay. He said classic, and literally every single one of these is a classic.
Yeah.
This one's
that's
more-
true.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Hamilton is not.
one.
Hamilton's brand new.
That's
Brian,
true. Hamilton's
I didn't
not
do.
classic, but I think
I did not do a
every
good
other
enough
one is.
job. I did not do a good enough job defending myself. If you claim that remake is a bad answer, classic, you know,
I thought
The
remake was
remake
pretty
would be like
good.
they had one a while ago and then they did another one. which is true.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I'm just saying. Classic is literally the same thing as remake. It's on some level. Like everything is a classic that gets remade. Like I don't know. That's suspect. That's highly suspect.
Godfather is a classic.
I should have jumped more. I should have jumped more on Jay. Like I'm saying, the answers here are. It was hard for me to guess because they're all so vague. So I don't think, my answer wasn't great. Obviously, I didn't know what the right answer was, but I'm saying there's others that really were I think equally as vague. I should have jumped up and a little bit more aggressive. I think
there were lots of answers that were equally vague. Yeah, I thought that classic was really vague. I am still I'm confused by Amanda's answer.
Yeah, what is question?
I've seen the Phantom of the Opera.
All I ask of you is like one of the most famous songs from that play.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Or the Phantom of the Opera itself is a question in the songs.
We questioned Amanda, and Amanda's like, "No, I know about theater," and everyone goes,
okay. I thought Lisa's answer is really good too. Unrequited. I feel like that really hit the mark of some of them, and some of them don't. So that's good. Well done to all of you. So we don't have time for my other categories today because we are having to end at this point. Maybe we'll come back to those next time. So I did have a couple other categories ready to go. What did you guys think of this game? Was it fun?
Yeah.
More or less fun than playing the werewolf game?
I didn't get picked every time, so I really like that part.
You like this game because you didn't get picked every time. Yeah, Brian was not a spy. Also, it was harder for the spy than I think you guys anticipated. The spy got indicted both times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, it was good. I think the simplicity of it makes it easier to just sort of dive into.
Yeah, it really was easy. I think that as you play more and more, you start to understand the nuances of your clue, and that kind of makes the game more interesting. So I think the first time you guys like gave away too much, the second time you like gave away too little, and I think that was like fun to see how that kind of progressed and came out. All right, so Lisa's our winner. Lisa crushed it with 4 points. She sleuthed. Yeah. And Peter is our loser with 0 points. But you tried really hard, and we appreciate that. Alrighty.
It works like that. You announce the winner and then the loser.
Yes, and then everyone in between is just like, just good
job, guys.
Yeah. So I actually really enjoy those types of games where one person is the loser and everyone else wins. I think those are really funny. I think that's a testament to my personality, where I think it's fun to single people out, which not everyone thinks, but apparently I do. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up for today. We might try this game next week as well, and I might come up with some more categories of more intrigue and interest. If you have any category ideas that are specific but not too specific, you can let me know your category idea, and I can try to come up with options in that category that will make it fun and interesting. Okay, thank you all for tuning in. See you all next time.